When I get to your base, I bang on the door, only to dance with your ancient war. Set fire to your ancient law. Nobody here is safe from my sword. Even at the throne of the tree, your team will be forcibly forced to flee. No remorse for me in this sorcery. Pulling news for free is a source of glee. Sleep with the fishes, or fly with the birds. Ride with the senate, or ride with the scourge. Decide I'm not on, die my urge. You can't even stop me with a cyclone or purge. Emerge from the shadows of murderous arrows. Burn with the fire to burn to your marrow. Your chance to survive will be narrow. Born and raised in a culture aggro. Walk the wind, cop lots of loot. Sharpen again and I pump me some boost. Back out the war with arrows to shoot. Find a weak hero, begin a pursuit. Just at a moment when they're feeling safe. Arrows are burning, I activate straight. End of the chase, I lay them to waste. Then go back to base to buy gloves of hate. Another hero dead, give me some bread. Got my gloves to make power treads. Apologize to work for using his leg. Back to finding heroes with health in the red. Stealth once again, I'm watching the map. This time his friends are watching his back. Go to the woods and chomp on a sack. Death pack my creeps to get my health back. Get to your base, I'll bang on the door, only to dance with your ancient war. Set fire to your ancient law. Nobody here is safe from my sword. Even at the throne of the tree, your team will be forcibly forced to flee. No remorse for me in this sorcery. Pulling news for free is a source of glee. I love killing human beings with my lucid beams. I love sneaking up on clueless teams and make them lose esteem. My name is Lunar Moon Fang and I am one with the moon. When I cast my eclipse, bodies become strewn. There is no chance to escape when I attack with my glaives. Cause they ricochet in the sink of swears and your village prays. Prevent the sun from spilling rays, enemies in a million ways. I can't wait to face the villain's gates cause my skills are missed. Mordred will whoop your ass with a coup de grace. You see a shadow when you ask who is that. Then you hit ching ching and your health goes to zero. I buy more bling bling and equip it on my hero. Get to your base, I'll bang on the door, only to dance with your ancient war. Set fire to your ancient law. Nobody here is safe from my sword. Even at the throne of the tree, your team will be forcibly forced to flee. No remorse for me in this sorcery. Pulling news for free is a source of glee. I'm coming to your base, yo, covering your face. I'm smothering your race, you've got to run. Mounted on a horse, I'm mounting up a force. Don't count on a remorse, you're almost done. Racking up the kills, you're slacking on your skills. Attacking you with quills and you got no stun. You're gonna die before you even get back to base. You try to run, don't run to the riverbed. Take his chill ass, spinning with his infrared. Once you're spotted, missiles hit you in the head. Boy, you know it, blood will turn the river red. Watch out for raising, my buddy is the living dead. Got a storm cloud chilling with them on his head. Don't leave him fed or you'll all end up fucking dead. Fucking dead, that's how I love to leave my opponents. And if you talking shit to me, you're just hanging from my scrotum. I got plenty of friends, I got plenty of enemies. Some of you I'll never meet, just know in Dota when I get to your base, I'll bang on the door, only to dance with your ancient war. Set fire to your ancient law. Nobody here is safe from my sword. Even at the throne of the tree, your team will be forcibly forced to flee. No remorse for me in this sorcery. Pulling news for free is a source of glee.
There.
It's good to be back. You know who this is, right? Facebook.com/Devil's Urethra. Woo! I'm pumped. Let's do this! You can tell as soon as you hear it. The devil's back with a vengeful spirit. Left for a while, but I'm coming back in style. Versatile with the rhyme, so please turn up your dial. Arms to the deep end, stomping our beats in. Too strong to defeat, cause I farm all the creeps in. Don't see a reason to throw you in the deep end. Season when it comes to the defense. Killed you in the prequel, I'll kill you in the sequel. No matter what you do, you never be my equal. You can't level up when I'm leveling your town, and you can't hold your ground when the devil is around. Gold, stack it up, kills, rack 'em up, noobs, hack 'em up. If a dude's being a pain in your lane, just stack 'em up. Sometimes I wanna get the world out my face. I tell 'em stay in your lane, I tell 'em stay in your place. If they don't, I smack 'em all. I smack 'em all. I smack 'em all. I smack 'em all. I move at a pace of empower and hate, laying towers to waste. Tell me, how does it taste after hours of rape? Probably sour as grapes, and you quit out of rage while I'm plowing through lanes, making shade from the crease. Fight from the earth, you're a frog, you're a sheep. I'm a boss, you're asleep. Nordstrom is here, so don't make a peep. Back from the silence, amidst all the violence, lying is the only one left. Sorry, Nordstrom, finger of death. Subtract from your health, add to my wealth. Damage dealt with a series of attacks. I'ma level your racks to level 10 when my level is max. I hit hard, crit scar, and shred you in half. In case you didn't know, yeah, the devil is back. Sometimes I wanna get the world out my face. I tell 'em stay in your lane, I tell 'em stay in your place. If they don't, I smack 'em all. I smack 'em all. I smack 'em all. I smack 'em all. I come at you with like a million buffs, bloodlust, ice armor, and chilling touch to make killing such a breeze. And if enemies try to retreat, cold feet or make them freeze in their tracks. Believe him when he casts, hit him from a distance with an ice blast. Frozen ammunition from an ancient apparition leaves the opposition cold and hold up in a frozen prison. I came from Dota 1 where I wrote a lot of songs. Now I came to Dota 2 to see what was going on, and I'm happy to see the game is growing strong. But half the kids playing, I'm playing it all wrong. What makes you think that you can attack me when your hands are full with your battle on acne? Every game that I play, I always have to carry, so please shape up or get smacked up. Sometimes I wanna get the world out my face. I tell 'em stay in your lane, I tell 'em stay in your place.
Hey guys, it's Mega Kai coming to you again with the Game 2 of GTB versus GD for the Kiwi Challenge Series 2 in the semi-final. I want to apologise there earlier on for all those crashes. I have made some changes to my Dota. Like I said earlier on, I'm not exactly sure what's causing these issues, but I've made some changes so that graphically it may not look up to par as the previous cast, but that's what I think I've needed to do to add that stability. It will be up and running at 100% before the iPlay event, which I'm about to plug in now. iPlay tournament event is on the 17th of August at iPlay Internet Cafe in the heart of the CBD. That's 33 Lawn Street, shop number 4. Excellent setup, amazing kit they've got going on there. They've been very, very successful in previous months, also I should say, in this year to run both League of Legends and StarCraft 2 events, both having great turnouts. So it'd be great to see anyone watching this, their participation in those particular events. First prize being $150 and 5 Razier headphones, which is about $600-700 worth of total net worth in prize pool. Second place being $100 prize cash, I should say. So hey, look, show your support and go along down to iPlay and register for that particular event. Going into other plugins, Southern Cross there, guys who are not familiar with Southern Cross. I'm sure you're familiar with Southern Cross by now. I am Mega Kai, and if you're just tuning on now, this is game 2, hopefully with no crashes. There is no Friday night drunk Dota as there normally is in this particular time slot. Instead, we're doing the semi-finals for the Kiwi Challenge Series 2. So, as you can hear in the background, the game has already started. The bands are already underway. I do have a co-caster, but he's currently AFK, so I will be flying solo just briefly. Having a look at the bands there, traditional Batrider band coming straight out of Garden Designers GD. That's being a very typical band for the Oceanic scene. Nobody likes that Batrider. Nobody likes the Magnus. But though we don't see much Magnus play. In terms of GTB, they don't want to go up against that Alchemist again. They're reeling a little bit, licking their loons a little bit from the last game where they played very, very, very well, but we just couldn't outfarm that Alchemist. So they want to shut down that Alchemist, and they need to probably look out for any other hard carry that they're not comfortable encountering, because this is their only opportunity to shut those down. Although they're going to allow all those supports, all those crucial, critical supports to go through, and GD is probably going to be happy there with the Alchemist and the Lifestealer band. They've got some supports in mind, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Jack, Shadow Demon, a Visage coming out very, very early from either of these teams. In terms of the bans here for GD, they've banned that Nyx Assassin. I think Nyx Assassin is one of those heroes that you do have to be wary of. He doesn't require any items. He does work exceptionally well in the tri lane as a tri lane support. So good bans there. No one really faltering in their bans. It is only the early stages, but both teams now into the first round of picking. Let's see what they pick up. As a Shadow Demon, Shadow Demon occupying one of those first 3 slots for pickups. Darkseer being picked up by the GD, as you can see on your screen. Darkseer, everyone knows about Darkseer in that off lane. Why do I keep saying tri lane? I don't know. In that off lane, with the power of his Iron Shells, with the power of his Vacuum, and then later game with that wall having this great scaling ability, because it scales as well as your opponents, so it's never going to be bad. And of course, the utility of that surge just being very, very great. Although, you've got to time it right, because we did see a couple of early kills going down onto Darkseer with mistimes on the surge. As you can see there, as expected, early pickup on the Visage, leaving Jack still in the pool. Will GTB pick up this Jack hero, or will they be looking for another crucial support, or possibly tri lane or soul lane hero that they're looking for here? Yeah, not really sure what to add to the previous cast about Visage. Great utility, lots of nuke, and if he can use that those familiars very, very well, then you're going to win this game. GTB revealing a trump card very, very early, looking to reveal their anti-mage, the hard farm position early on, and I don't know if I like this in the second slot. They're picking up the anti-mage. He is very, very, very good, and we saw many games in last week's cast where anti-mage was just left to free farm for 30 minutes, and because he was left to free farm for 30 minutes, he did win the game. And they're looking to ban it. I don't know if it's a wise choice as a second slot. OD still in the pool. No, he's not. OD being banned out. Jack being banned out. All very, very solid bans. This is going to probably pave the way for a Queen of Pain mid for one of these teams, unless it's going to be banned out in one of these.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Expecting to see a Queen of Pain or possibly a puck being picked up by one of these teams. Now the OD is out of the pool. There's no Lifestealer, so I don't expect to see a Storm Spirit. And we see this unusual Coddle ban. Coddle not really fitting into GD's playstyle. They don't normally play with a Coddle. I think it's because they don't feel that he scales as well into the late game. He has this great pushing ability, and he can summon heroes. He's got a little bit of utility, and you can sort of stun people or drain away their mana. But, in all the games that I've cast with GD, I don't think I've ever seen them pick up Coddle. So this may be a bit of a misplay here by GTB. Coddle and the Oceanic scene also falling out of popularity. We don't see as many Coddles being picked up as we used to, unless it's being picked up in that early phase with a Phantom Lancer very, very early. Otherwise, we don't see that being happen at all. So very regularly, I should say. So I should say, what's the counter there? Irregularly, we see Coddle being picked up irregularly. He's not a staple of any team. So I don't know if that was a wise pickup. Or wise ban. Lena being banned out there from GD. They don't want to face up against a Lena Shadow Demon combo that leaves only potentially Leshrac in the pool. Maybe another hero with another stun or another lockdown, but the options are still there. But of course, they don't want to fight that Laguna Blade. They did see the power of the Luna in the last game, and so they don't want to fight it. Instead, they've opted to also pick up a Gyrocopter, given that they've got first pick. Gyrocopter works very, very well with a well-timed vacuum, with the cooldown ult, with the rocket barrage. Everybody knows the power of Gyrocopter. He can can just crack out so much team DPS, you know, and he works both well with Visage in the tri lane, with another support, potentially somebody else with a stun or a slow. There's heaps in the pool, and that's going to work in their favour. But you know, you can also put Gyro in the solo lane by himself. He doesn't necessarily need that babysitting, but he does need a little bit of protection because he is vulnerable in that early laning phase. As expected, we see Leshrac being picked up for the Shadow Demon Leshrac combo. They are going to be looking to rotate early. They are looking to going to be able to sort of get those gank kills. They have to play very aggressively, you know. GTB are 1 down, Garden Designers are 1 up, so Garden Designers can sort of relax a little bit. They can look to play a more long game strategy, and sort of, because they did so well in the previous game, you know, they were maybe looking to rinse and repeat a little bit of how the previous game went. Whereas GTB, they desperately need an early win with the particular, well, not early, but they desperately need a win in order to stay in the game. With the lineup they've got now here, great ganking potential with the Shadow Demon and the Shrek. You know, if they can babysit this anti-mage for 30 minutes uninterrupted, and he does get all those last hits very, very well, then they could very well unseat GD from their sort of leading position and go 1-for-1. But hey, it all comes down to these last 2 pickups. What are we going to see? We're going to see a Weaver, we're going to see a Windrunner, we're going to see an unconventional Doom or Lich in this, and being picked up here by GD, or we're just going to see staple tier 1 pickups.
Reserve time.
And we see a Sand King being picked up for the support position to go with Visage and Gyrocryptor into the tri lane. We do see the occasional Sand King pickup. In fact, we see quite a lot of Sand King pickup in recent months. Myself, I'm not a particular fan with Sand King. I think he does require a decent amount of farm to be to have a late game impact. Otherwise, he has to burrow strike in with his ult, and so I'm not a particular fan of that. I do think that limits his ability to chase down heroes. But hey, it's still very, very strong. That burrow strike with the Visage nuke, with a Gyrocopter, they're going to be able to secure some kills, and they can potentially go offensive. They don't have to play defensively, although I do see them with this lineup playing in the defensive lane. GTB picking up Windrunner, as to be expected. One of those heroes that I said earlier would be picked up for a off lane. It is going to go up against the Darkseer or against a tri lane. Windrunners typically do very, very well against a defensive tri lane, sorry, I should say an offensive tri lane, consisting of the heroes that are lined up there, Visage, Gyrocopter, and Sand King. She can get shut down, but we saw in the earlier pool play, you know, with Omni playing as that Windrunner, he just could escaped so much damage, so much lockdown, he could just get away every time. And it comes down to, it came down a lot to whether or not the Gyrocryptor picked up the homing missile early or not. And in the particular game that we cast earlier, there was no Gyrocryptor homing missile pickup for quite some time, and she just kept running her way out of danger. So that's potentially a good matchup there. Though I guess it comes down to player skills. In terms of the last banners, they're GD banning up that puck. They don't want to face a puck. They'd rather have a Queen Pain in the mid position. GTB now have the opportunity here to look to ban out a mid slot because it's definitely open for both teams. I think GD are hoping that they're going to pick up a Queen of Pain. They could, they could throw them a wild ball and ban out this Queen of Pain, which means that they're going to have to look at potentially a DK or another unconventional hero. You know, I hear TA still in the pool, and you know, TA is actually a really, really strong pickup for that mid position, given what's left in the pool. But people are going to disagree with me, but you know, TA wants the staple of the game. I think it's just like OD. She's kind of come back a bit. We do see a little bit of progressive play cycling through into the weekday play with TAs coming through a little bit more in the mid position. You know, has that durability with her fraction shields, and I think she would fit really, really well into the lineup they have here. You know, if I was the captain, I'd be looking at a high damage carry that can really dominate the mid position, and I think TA would be a big pickup there for them. Though they're probably thinking, hey, why don't we pick up a Nature's Prophet? You know, Nature's Prophet fits any slot, but they do pick up the traditional DK for that mid lane position. They did take some time to think about that, but they're like, this is perfect, let's have a DK. And this leaves GTB left with only a few heroes left in the pool to choose from. They're going to go well against the DK. We have seen some good plays with Kunkka against DK, but it has been very, very close. What are they going to pick up? You know, to be honest, I'm a little bit perplexed as to what I would pick up here as GTB. They've got their tri lane and their off lane sorted. They could see that there was Puck was the sort of preferable BAM so they could Queen of Pain. They see DK there now. They need to really counterpick for this DK, and it would be great if they could pick up OD, but OD's not on the pool. So what are they going to have in this mid lane position?
Ten seconds remaining.
Just thinking about it a little bit, we may see an unconventional GTB. Yeah, I was going to say we may see an unconventional mid hero, and they do pick up Invoker. It's going to be played by Amurlada. I don't know how to pronounce this. The sort of Arabic sounding name. He does play a very good Invoker. He does go that early extort build. Whether or not he goes that with against the DK, whether or not that is a good matchup, to be honest, I don't know. I don't see many Invokers going against DKs. Often, you might say my lack of watching those particular matchups is meaning I don't know whose it's going to be. Well, GD picking up the items very, very quickly and looking to descend into their own jungle to stop that counter warding. They're being very, very aggressive. GTB sort of taking their time. They decided they're not going to want to engage early in any of the lanes. They're looking to casually just get out into lane. And picking up the items very, very slowly. But we do see a similar to the previous game. Early pickup on sentry wards and smoke. Early pickup on sentry wards on GTB. No smoke though. So both teams playing at that kind of level that we expect them to be playing at. Both teams realizing the potential with the sentry wards to both block out camps and particularly de-ward. And they know the power, with that recent nerf to the observer wards. 6 minutes. That's a long time to not have vision. So well done from both teams. Tri-lane, what we expected to see, we saw an anti-mage with a Lesh and a Shadow Demon. That was very, very predictable, both in a defensive tri-lane. I thought there might be an offensive tri-lane from the Dire, but it looks like they're also going defensive. And, that means that, I was going to say Omni, but the Windrunner goes into the long lane and is expected the Arabic guy, I can't even know how to pronounce that name, is going to be mid. I know his name's Nick, I think, in real life. So he's done a cast with me. So Nick in the mid lane as Invoker plays very, very well as Invoker. We saw some earlier games against some of the other teams in the pool play and in the quarterfinals where he did very well with Invoker and managed to dominate. So a lot of energy is going to be resting on this. I say a lot of responsibility is going to be burdened by this Invoker to play extremely well in the mid position, given that there's both. They've got this really good tri-lane for Dire in the top lane in the form of both a I'm trying to think. Boris striking Sand King, Gyrocopter, and a Visage. That's very, very strong. Their potential to catch this Windrunner based on how well they play. But Windrunner opting for that build that we saw Dendy doing earlier in the week in the defense challenge, just sitting there with the all day, right-clicking these agents and stacking them at the same time. And this is I don't know if this is gonna work out, but it does relate to a lot of CS, a lot of damage, and a lot of CS, a lot of gold pickup. Because she knows she can't shut down this tri lane. So is this going to work out? Let's see if Dynamite can pull this trick off. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, great pull through from the Shadow Demon. Managed to get that double pull through. Going to deny that creep wave quite substantially from the enemy team, giving this anti-mage a lot of free farm. And also they're going to drive this Darkseer out. So both teams doing very well in their respective tri lanes. But the two, as I say that, the two heroes from the tri lane in the top look to rotate in and find this Windrunner who is right clicking down all these creeps. So she is going to have to pick up some wards to give herself some protection. Otherwise they'll just keep doing this to drive her out. In fact, it looks like they may be smoking up. No, there's an invisible rune. What are they going to do? He uses the invisible instead. They're looking to find this Invoker. This Invoker is going to be in a lot of trouble if he gets picked off. This is going to be a huge psychological blow, as well as great gold benefit if they can pick off this Invoker in the mid lane. This Invoker senses something's up. Not pushing too hard, not playing very, very cautiously in this sort of circle area around the tower, not wanting to overextend. Meanwhile, Dynamite going back to the lane because he knows that he's missing. He doesn't want to be caught farming those agents. In the bottom lane, they're just stacking and pulling without any problems, leaving anti-major free farm. Let's have a look at Last Hits. Last Hits is going in the way of Gyro mostly, as well as a little bit on anti-mage. He's not too far behind, and in terms of net worth, it is exactly the same. So nothing major to report just yet, but it is looking like it is going slightly in the favour of the GD, picking up slightly more CS across the board. But hey, you can't interest the anti-mage. You know, if I was in this game, what hero would you most be happy to leave for 30 minutes for free farm? And the answer would not be anti-mage. The answer would be I'd rather leave a free farming Gyro to in exchange for a free farming anti-mage. And this is what it's looked like it's going to happen. So it's going to come down to player skill, as we said earlier. This anti-mage really needs to land all these last hits, pick up that early Battle Fury, really start to snowball away, and at that 27 to 30 minute mark, really come into his own and sort of just dominate the enemy team. Meanwhile, at the same time, his supports need to lay down some harassment onto this Gyro, and if they can do that, they've got this game in the bag. You know, I don't see Invoker DK being the crucial ganker of this team, but I may have to eat my Dota 2 hat, but it does look like that's going to be the arrangement. He has gone for the Quast just for the regeneration. He's not going for any Wex just yet. We saw this in the previous game. This works out well for Invoker. He's doing very, very well. And he's feeling pretty happy. He's not sitting at the top of the CS. He is slightly behind the DK. You would expect a little bit more CS given that he's range, but hey, he has taken a little bit of that flame strike damage just being sometimes a little bit too much for him. So he is being forced out of lane a little bit. We see the Shadow Demon picking up a smoke. Are they going to utilize this Shadow Demon Leshrac combo? I'd like to see that. We see Leshrac sort of hovering around mid. As with the Shadow Demon, not a lot really happening just yet, but it looks like they're going to smoke here, and they're going to try and go in and get this DK, waiting for him to push and be out of position. And he is playing very smart, taking the high ground, not really getting in range of anything. But that doesn't mean he can't be picked off. Yeah, he's body blocking. He's looking to go in. The stand-in for GD. He may get caught off here, and it looks like he will. They just need to run in with a disruption. Where's the disruption? He uses the ult. Any disruption now would catch him. Come on, guys. And they're losing this opportunity with every second of the day. You know, the smoke is about to expire. They need to run in right now, and the disruption goes in. There's a Sunstrike straight in there, and a Split Earth coming up through. That's enough damage with Edict also up. So they should be able to secure this as First Blood, and it looks like it's going to be First Blood! Great play there by GTB. Excellent play. This is going to give them some confidence. They had to use a lot of abilities. It was a little bit slow, but that doesn't matter. DK is down, and there's a kill in the bag for the Invoker.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now with the excitement over, the two supports this Leshrac Shadow Demon combo looking now to rotate back to top to give a bit of support here to the Windrunner. And this is all because the anti-mage has got free farm. In fact, this lane is almost completely abandoned. It's anti-mage versus DS. You know, and I play DS very, very aggressively with double iron shelling the waves, with a single or maybe 2 levels of surge based depending on what's going on. But he's not getting double iron shell waves down, and this is meaning that he's not winning the lane. He should be winning the lane. You know, people can tell me, no, that's not what happens, but trust me, you know, I play against a lot of anti-mages in this long lane versus long lane as DS, and if you do it right, you can get a double iron shell wave down, and you can really drive this anti-mage out. Oh, just so we say that we saw another rotation in here from both the Shadow Demon and the Shrek, as well as the Invoker Sunstrike, and they get another kill on DK. DK reeling from this one. He's going to be like, how did I fall for it again? There was no invisible that time, and Dynamite's gone back to farming the ancients. I think this is a great strategy. I think if he just keeps this up, he will get enough CS to he will eventually get enough CS, and he stacks it for at least one of the heroes in the other team, so that's great. Great to see. Cleared off a couple of them already, so he should be sitting fine and dandy with net worth. Let's have a quick look. Net worth wise, no, I'm wrong. Totally wrong. You know, it is all going in the favor of the Gyro. Very closely followed by Invoker, who's got those 2 kills. But Gyro being left to free farm, and Anti-Mage being left to free farm. And if we compare them, you know, there's a Ring of Aquila, which is going up onto the Gyro. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, how close is he to Battle Fury? He's getting pretty close to Battle Fury, so this is not going to go well. Once he gets his Battle Fury, we'll see this net worth just a snowball roller coaster, if you will, a little bit out of control. And this DK, you know, he's now the standard now. He's probably getting a little bit of harassment from his team as the standard. He has to play much more cautiously when there's missing. Because, oh, wait, as I say that, there's a great disruption and a rotation in, followed by Sunstrike. This is going to be another kill. Excellent Sunstrike. Great abilities being used by Get Lucky and the Open Earth by the Leshrac. Good teamwork there. And the kill, who does that go to? Let's have a quick look. The kill, I didn't even pay any attention. All the kills going to, mostly going to the Invoker, who's going to probably be carrying this team along with Anti-Mage. So, well done, you know, 3 for 0. GD is probably thinking, where did this team come from? How has GTP managed to do this? We played them in the last game. Did they sub out? Did they rotate the heroes? No, we just see that, you know, they're playing heroes that they're more familiar with, they're feeling more confident, and we said this earlier in the previous case, GTP do very well in the early game phase. Where they fail slightly, though, is in this mid-game phase, they don't seem to transition well into mid-game. And they're gonna, if they watch this, they're gonna probably say, "Oh, we disagree." But no, in all the games I've watched with them, they do really well in the early game, sort of plateau quite substantially in the mid-game, and you know, traditionally speaking, against most teams, then they sort of skyrocket away in that late game. Whereas, you know, GD, they tend to be the opposite slightly. They tend to have this very close, very closely knit early phase. Maybe they lose them sometimes, maybe they win it sometimes, and then they kind of explode away in the mid game phase. And then if they can do that, then they tend to sort of obviously dominate into the late game. But you know, these teams, it's really going in favor of GTB at this stage. They're playing this like it is a rehearsed game. They're doing so well, keeping this DK back from getting any CS, feeding it all to the giving this Invoker free reign just to pick up whatever he likes, and it's going very well for them. You know, you can see Anti-Mage now just escaping them, escaping the CS, getting away from this Gyro. You know, both of them being left to free farm, both of them being unharassed. There was a little bit of harassment down in the bottom lane in the form of this DS, but he did pay for it with his life. And meanwhile, but on the flip side, this Gyro just getting absolutely free farm. He has had no issues. He should be totally dominating the CS and the net worth, but he's going toe-to-toe. Exactly 72 for 72. And, you know, you would have expected slightly better from the Gyro, given that he just had such a free reign over farm. These supports not really finding any extra kills with their rotations around. They really want to, but they're just not finding it. And it's because they were so well for the first 10 minutes with those 3 kills that GD have sort of decided to change their playstyle slightly. You can see this DK is not overextending whatsoever. He's being as cautious as he can. He was until just then, making sure he doesn't get too close to the enemy tower unless he knows where the enemy is. These supports rotating into bottom to help this Anti-Mage to drive down this tower as much as they can, and they could probably, if they just stay here, take this tower. take this tower uncontested, and with a reasonable amount of yeah, it's like right there, the edict's coming out, really smashing this tower, forcing out a glyph. But I think that's a bit of a mistake. They're still going to take this tower.
Dyer's bottom tower is taking
It's
many
going to be an
wounds.
uncontested free tower for GTB. No rotations, no reactionary TPs. Given up without a challenge, showing you the strength of how GTB are playing and how GD currently think.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
Are you back, buddy?
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, you could see like GTB on fire now. You know, they lost their previous game, but you know they're doing so well. A lot of free farm on this anti-mage, and those good rotations are securing those early game kills.
Yeah, I did manage to see a couple of those kills on the, well, both the kills actually, on the Dragon Knight, and I just think, you know, Dragon Knight's become this sort of mid hero, and I think it's just he doesn't have that escape, which is was quite his downfall here. He was obviously in his ults, he got disrupted and then got stunned and then sunstriked, and yeah, it was death. Then he came back in, same thing, rinse and repeat, and he died again. So he's not having the best day.
And it may look like he's going to suffer the same. There is a smoke up here from the Lesh Shadow Demon. They're looking to pick him off yet again. Oh, no, the DS now, I should say, having rotated mid. They're looking to pick off somebody anyway. Not finding it just yet. But, you know, the power of this SD Leshrac combo, we see it quite often.
It's just that obviously you disrupt, and it gives you obviously with the delay from Leshrac's stun, it gives you just that setup for it. Because obviously with the delay, it's a bit hard to set it up. But if you disrupt it, you can't go anywhere. Then all Leshrac has to do, in this case, nice, just needs to click where the big black circle is, and then boom, stunned.
Yeah, we're into the 15-minute mark. Taking a quick look at the graphs. The graphs say it's well in advance of GTB, leading both XP and gold reasonably well. If they keep this momentum up, they will take this game reasonably early, given that they're just playing so well with the synergy of these heroes. And you can see here, good rotation again into the mid from these two heroes. They desperately want to pick up another kill in the form of this DK. There's a 4-star forward. There is a disruption into a Sunstrike and also in a Split Earth, but it's just too late, and there's reactionary TPs coming in immediately from GD, looking to at least save this this DK. Look how much damage he's taken.
Yeah, he has to fly all the way back to his fountain, heal up. His bottle is well used up, so he's gonna retreat, heal up, and come back in again, and maybe try to get some farm on him. He's only got really his boots, treads that is, not much else. So he really needs to start getting in, you know, get a bit of farm, get a bit of items, and then see what they can do as he transition into this mid game phase.
Anti-mage starting to be on fire, toggling his boots quite regularly in order to maintain his high mana pool, or mana regeneration pool, picking up a lot of CS, picking up a lot. Look at the CS, it's out of control. He's almost 50 ahead of the Gyro. Both of them, as I said earlier, left to free farm. And what does it mean to net worth? It just means that he's going to get items earlier. He's going to get out of control if they're not careful.
Yeah, I just had a look then, and as you said, 50 CS in front, and an anti-mage, once he gets that obviously his Manta style, and those illusions sap away all your mana, your supports, like Darkseer, Visage, Sand King. If they get hit and they lose all that mana, then they're just going to kind of be useless in the team fight.
Yeah, we saw this in the previous pool stage play of the Kiwi Challenge Series 2. We saw a lot of free farm anti-mage, nobody really responding to it, you know, no one looking to aggressively shut down the anti-mage, and we get to about the 28-minute mark to 37-minute mark, somewhere in between there, where anti-mage just snowballs out of control and there's just no answer for a farmed anti-mage.
Dyer's bottom tower.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they do have obviously Sand King. They've got the Dragon Knight stun, so they can kill him. but we just haven't seen sort of the rotations around to try to get him.
Taking many wounds.
Yeah, GD, you know, coming out of the game one up, you know, into the next round, and they're probably feeling very, very confident. But now they're probably feeling shaken. But you know, I said earlier, GTB don't, or go to bed don't normally do so well in this sort of post 20-minute mark because they just don't play their mid phase. Oh, we see a great disruption there, good force stuff, followed by a Sunstrike. There's no Split Earth. They don't need it though. There's reactionary TPs from Visage as well as everybody coming in, but it doesn't pick off anyone. There's a all manner of abilities going down, but I don't think they're going to respond here. I think this is just going to be a fail gank, but it's also forced out all these TPs. So I guess again going towards GTB. You know, they forced out all those TPs.
And Anti-Mage is left to free farm bottom lane and the jungle.
Yeah, and if they wanted to come down and respond to this anti-mage push, they can't because they're all on cooldown. So GTB showing that, you know, even though they're one down, they're not out of this this challenge just yet.
Yep, this game is obviously at the moment favoring GTB. Not to say that GD, you know, just having a look at the gold graph, they're only what five, close to 6,000 gold behind. So you know, a couple of team fights, and they'll be right back in this if they obviously win those team fights. And they are looking like they are going to start pushing this top lane. They do have the Gyro, the Dragon Knight, the Sand King, and Visage there.
Structures are fortified with 12 important Dyer's.
Wow, great combination of abilities. Power shot followed by poison and a followed through with a Sunstrike actually drives back the entire Dire team. They don't know what's hit them, and this saves their tower. Well, meanwhile they take the mid tower, so another one up there for GTB.
Indeed, Invoker they're getting those Sunstrikes, and I think the Sand King and the Visage were just scared that, oh no, we're gonna get picked off now. Better run back. And the team had to retreat. GD, that is. Yeah, and once again,
anti-mage free farm.
Anti-mage just left the free farm.
Yeah, they're gonna have a problem. You know, once he gets this Manchester, look at him. He's just so far ahead now. He's managing to start to snowball out of control. And this is a rinse and repeat of the earlier match where anti-mages just left the free farm. You know, people are gonna say this is a boring game to cast or watch because anti-mage is just free farming. But you know, you can sort of counter this a little bit by aggressively warding and looking to drive him out of his farm. But they're not doing any of it. They're just leaving him alone. They're just hoping that they can out-farm.
And the Invoker is, what, equal now with last hits with the Gyro. So he has got his Ags. I think it's coming on the way on the Courier. So not looking good for GD. Yep, there we go. Just got it off the Courier.
Did you hear all that, or was I muted?
I think you were muted.
Oh, bummer. Oh, bummer. I was saying that, you know, they're looking for this anti-mage kill. They couldn't find him. They had this perfect smoke. And unfortunately, he was just blinking to do those ancients when they could have probably got him. And he did blink away into the jungle. He did TP. Good play there by the anti-mage. Unfortunately, I was muted.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But as Spectator Chat just pointed out, he's Anti-Mage is level 16. So looking at the rest of the team, he's sitting 3 levels ahead of the next, who's the Invoker. And compared to GD, they're just quite behind in terms of experience. I mean, the experience graph, close to 8,000.
GD picking up their first turn out. There's a disruption, followed by a Sunstrike, and there's also Soul Catcher just mounts him. He can't do anything. There's reactionary TPs as well as a cooldown, but they don't find anybody. They find absolutely nobody with all those abilities being used. In fact, if they're not careful, Gyro's going to get picked off also.
Oh, yep, he's chasing the Listrak.
Yeah, he should have not chased it. He's gone too far. He's gone way too far. And meanwhile, Anti-Mage happily picks up the mid lane tower. You know, this Gyro overextending, almost putting himself into harm's way. Good bounce of tanking, I guess you might call it, where each of the heroes cycled in to make sure that they took their fair share of the rocket barrage. Also followed up with some mini stuns there by the Shackle, which shut down Gyro, meaning that his abilities are all on cooldown. He had no choice but to TP out. So now this is 4 for 0, all in GTP's favour. Looking at the graphs, this officially passed the 10k mark for gold difference. Not yet 10k in XP, but you know that is by Amiga standards a snowball. And Anti-Mage yet again left a free farm, having both completed his Manta and his Battle Fury, looking to build that heart.
Yeah, just pretty much. They've just got that such good damage that like they can just sort of defend and push us forward, whereas and then just leave the Anti-Mage to do his thing, farm up, and as he said, he's got his Manta, going to go for that heart, and then maybe we'll see him join the fights, and then could be a team wipe, maybe.
Yeah, you know, I said in the drafting phase that they gave away their trump card very early by picking up Anti-Mage very early. You know, but this has actually worked out very well for them. He hasn't been too counterpicked too much. You know, he has a little bit, but not like aggressively too much. And you know, he's just doing what he does. You know, farm left for 30 minutes, and they win the game. Meanwhile, on the top, everybody rotating it. There's a wall. There's a Sunstrike, there's a vacuum, all manner of abilities going down. What's going on?
And they're trying to go onto Invoker, but he's gone in his Sand King, trying to get at the stun, got into the Sandstorm. Anti-Mage TP's out, blinks out, manages to get the Dire Courier, getting that bonus goal for his team and for himself. So let's have a look. Visage went down, the Shrek and Shadow Demon went down. So really only just the support's going down on GTB side. So
yeah, but that's the first 2 kills for GTB, and they pick up their second tower. So I guess they're feeling happy about that. GD.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yes. I guess GTB probably thinking like, oh, not that big a loss. Maybe the tower is more concerning. Obviously, maybe if they did lose the Anti-Mage or the Invoker, they'd be more concerned. But the 2 supports going down, not as big of a deal as your carry.
Yeah, and if you look at it, they're really low level. They've got very low CS, so they're going to be adding. You know, they've got the utility to the team fight, but losing them, it's no biggie. So yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right with that call. Anti-Mage definitely going to be in the ballpark here now to pick up his heart. Once he gets that heart, we're going to see a different game, I think. We're going to see GG basically being wiped. I don't know how they're going to respond to this. It is an official Amiga snowball on both effects, over 10k in both XP and gold, and it's only 25 minutes. You know, he's got another 5 minutes where he can comfortably farm before he really needs to get stuck in. So, not looking good at all for GD.
Yeah, he's got what, 292 last hits. As you said, nearly got that Heart of Tarask being built. I'm just looking at the Gyrocopter, the carry on the GD side, and he really only has what, Phase Boots, BKB, Ring of Aquila, Helm of Ironwell. So I assume he's going to build maybe Helm of the Dominator. But I mean, the Anti-Mage is just outfarmed him completely.
Yeah, and this is almost like an opposite sort of game as the previous game. This Alchemist out-farmed, and they sort of try to race the Alchemist and farm. And now GD trying to race an Anti-Mage farm. And, you know, in all the games that we've seen, once he picks up that Battle Fury, you can't out-farm the Anti-Mage. He just kills things so quickly.
And, I mean, Gyrocopter does have sort of that flat cannon to clear creeps, basically creeps. But then in the recent patch did get nerfed down. The cooldown was extended to 30 seconds. So yeah, whereas the Battle Fury, even though it does do less damage because of the it's a percentage based, what, 35%. But there's no cooldown. You can just sit there, keep hitting away at the creeps, and they all die.
And now that Anti-Mage has his heart, he's now looking to join these guys in a battle in the top lane. He's not just farming for buybacks, I believe. He's not quite 6-slotted, but he could quite easily, comfortably free farm if he wants to, and he is. He's just going around the dire jungle free farming. But they're going to be looking for team fights now, definitely.
Probably just get a bit more farm, or not get a bit more farm, but just push the towers, get some gold. Obviously, try to get that buyback. And yep, they just push down the top dire tower. That's gone down. But as we say that, the mid lane, sorry, GD pushing in. They've got 4 heroes there. They've got the Gyrocopter, they've got Darkseer, they've got the Visage, they've got the Sand King, but they're deciding to back out now with the reactionary TPs from GTB.
Dire structures can take all the
Yeah, and that's mainly because this anti-mage was left in the top lane to really just almost completely take out this top tower. In fact, it looks like he's going to do it. Oh no, just gets denied. Illusion's just doing so much damage.
Yeah, just doing so much damage, and they get that the orb effect of the mana burn. So Darkseer having to retreat, quite a bit lower mana. Sand King is, well, not quite as low, but
Yeah, this is, I think this is going to be 1-for-1. There's going to be a third game. I'm pretty sure I could put money on it. This will go into a third game, best of 3 challenge. GD obviously not knowing where this team's come from. This is a completely different game to the first game, and it's all going in the favor of GTB, thanks to really a free farming anti-mage.
Dire's bottom.
Oh, and I
yeah,
should say, excellent execution of Sunstrikes. There's so many good placed Sunstrikes.
Dire's bottom tower.
well, definitely. I mean, obviously, Anti-Mage couldn't free farm if the rest of the team weren't making space.
Oh.
But here we are. They're going in right near the Roach Pit. In comes the core down. In comes the wall. Gyrocopter 2 kills. Oh, he's doing well. He's BK beat up. So much action happening in this middle lane. No one else has gone down there. Diabolic Edict's gone up. The stuns come in, and Darkseer's gotten Anti-Mage. So, oh, big kills there. Well done by GD. And they are going to go for Roche. So, looks like maybe they're not just out of it yet.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I was going to say, well executed there with the Darkseer, with the wall, with the vacuum, followed up with some stuns. A bit of a misplay there with Anti-Mage jumping into, blinking into combat, thinking he could add his damage to the scenario, but instead he got picked off. So, one mistake there, and it sort of equated the game slightly. Although the graphs still say it is clearly in GTP's favor.
And let's have a look now. Gyrocopter, he's got the Demon Edge, and I mean he beat MKB Daedalus, but maybe he's going for the Divine Rapier.
No, I'm pretty sure he's going to be going for Satanic, early Satanic if he can do it. No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right, yeah.
See a rapier. Would be
Yeah,
funny.
I think you might be right. It might be a rapier, maybe the Daedalus. He hasn't got the crit stick. He hasn't completed his anything with the Helm and the Dominator. Perhaps it is a crit stick, but it could very much well be a rapier. We could see this as being a rapier game, and a rapier pickup would actually probably be very, very smart.
I'm thinking maybe they think, okay, we won that last fight. Let's get some farm, get that rapier, and turn things around. But obviously the con with the rapier is if you drop it and the other team picks it up, well, if you get that on one of those strong players, maybe even then their right click damage is going to be astronomical.
Yeah, but in saying that, we did, so many times I've said this already, GTP don't normally scale so well in terms of their playstyle into their medium game phase, and we've seen that, they had this massive lead in terms of kills, it's not there anymore. They can't see the graphs that we can see, but they must be feeling like they've thrown it slightly. But this is typical what we see of GTB. They have this, you might say they do so well in the early phase, they get too relaxed in the mid phase, and I think that's just what happened. They got a little bit too casual. They didn't think about the scenario with that team engagement, with the wall and the vacuum there, and instead threw it slightly. But no, it's still in their favor. They just don't know. I think they just don't know it as well as we do.
Yeah, obviously they don't know how much farm the Anti-Mage has got compared to the Gyrocopter,
The red mist spreads.
but maybe we shouldn't count GD out just yet. I think maybe if they lose the next team fight, especially with the Aegis, then they might lose. But it's I mean, obviously with the gold going still in the favor of GTB, the experience sitting about 8,000 in GTB's favor. It's the advantages is due to GTB, but with this Aegis, maybe they can do something with it, and get themselves right back into this game.
Oh, and he's gone on MKB. I was hoping he'd go with Divine Rapier. They go for the smoke up. They're looking to kill this Anti-Mage again. Anti-Mage having TP'd out just for other reasons. So they were not going to find anyone on their own just yet. But at least they tried. Now they're looking to find someone in mid. They're not going to find anyone. This smoke is definitely going to run out. They can't see what we can see, but of course, it's great to have that offensive warding and see where people are before you smoke. But hey, you don't know unless you try, I guess.
Yeah, I just noticed that Yujimbo was gonna go pick up that room, and I guess he opted not to because obviously there is that ward there, and they were. Oh no, it's their ward. Okay, that's weird. I don't know why they didn't pick up the rune. Maybe they thought maybe it's warded. They might notice the rune disappearing and then go, "Oh, what happened there?"
Yeah, but a bit of a fail smoke, but hey, they tried, they looked for that kill, potentially an Anti-Mage. Just unlucky the Anti-Mage TP'd out. In fact, Anti-Mage has gone to top, his TP's on Refresher. He's going to probably push both these lanes and look to be split pushing, and this is going to work in his favor because GDS is going to be on the back foot responding to all this push rather than looking to be aggressive and do their own pushing.
I mean, he's got that Mana Star, he's got his Battle Fury, so great for split pushing. Obviously with his TP on cooldown, he can't TP back, but now that it's not, he's able to just sort of start pushing the top while the rest of his team just sort of sits mids. You know, still defends it up while he gets the creeps pushing in. Then when the fight starts, he can just sort of TP in.
Yeah, and as soon as there was missing from the top lane, he's gone to the top lane to push on this tower. In fact, he's forcing out this glyph because he wants the Manta after the glyph, which is very, very strong. Meanwhile, these GD are pushing the mid lane. They've got some TPs, but no one reacting just yet. This could be very, very bad if they don't realize this Anti-Mage is going to take the top racks.
And here come the TPs in, but oh, they managed to save the tower there. Sand King putting on the Sandstorm, cleaning out the creep wave. Age is going to get reclaimed in about 55 seconds. So, what about Anti-Mage? He stopped their push.
You got to think about it a little bit. They've got the Aegis, and yet they're being outpushed, and Anti-Mage is just doing all this damage. And they should have had this advantage with the Aegis, but you know, it shows you that that GTB are feeling confident and feeling above the bracket, and they're not really worried about this Aegis at all.
I think the main issue is they need as Anti-Mage, the face guy. He's going on Yujimbo. Yujimbo, it's going to go down. The Sunstrike, boom. Nice Sunstrike by Invoker, taking out Yujimbo there on the Dragon Knight. As I was saying just before, though, Anti-Mage, he can just solo push because even if they send back one hero, even let's say the Gyrocopter, him like 1v1, I don't think anyone on the GD side can take down the Anti-Mage. They sort of need the whole team there to sort of get him.
Yeah, and he is now joining the rest of the team. Oh man, he's not going to even do that. He's just going to run around as a solo commando and just take on as much as he can. No, he is going to join the team. I was going to say, he's going to join the team for this mid push, and this is going to be the crucial fight in the next few minutes here in the mid lane, as to, you know, if either team takes too many losses, it's going to go in the favor of the other team. So for GD's sakes, they need to be very, very cautious and very, very defensive in this position here.
And they use the disruption to get a couple of Anti-Mage illusions. He's popped his Manta Star, get more illusions, and they've managed to take down the tier 3 tower. Obviously the glyph being used in that last engagement, but it looks like they're trying to initiate on. Oh, nice by Windrunner. Manages to get the double shackle on.
Wow, and Invoker
comes the stun.
And the vacuum and wall comes a little bit too late, I think, having already taken 2 substantial kills in the form of 3 kills going, 4 kills, and there's a buyback. They're going to pick up the Shadow Demon, but I think that was worth it. They lost 3 for 1, did a lot of damage, took the mid-tower tower, almost got this Rax here, forced out all the ults. So Anti-Mage can probably just heal up and then look to push another lane with confidence, knowing that no one's going to be there to stop him. Wow,
Yeah, pretty much,
GG being called, no Rax.
Wow.
GD feel that they are on this really back foot, and we see this with them as well. They choke a little bit, they throw it, they get psychologically damaged in a game, but they can see what we can see now. They can see that they have no chance to come back against this anti-mage. Well, they don't want to try it. They just want to go to the next game. It might be a little bit of a rage, DG, but that's the game. And congratulations to GPD managing to equate 1 for 1. And I just want to say, no crashes this game.
GG computer. I'm gonna guess GD probably just said, you know, guys, let's just call this game GG. Focus on the next game. No point waiting around, you know, losing out, getting tired over this game. We should just take the small break, refresh, come back for the next game and win that.
No, I think it's more the opposite. The opposite of what you just said, I think, is what's happened. I think it's more along the lines of, why are we making mistakes? How can we shut this down? And more of a rage situation, because it was only one GG from Fresco. Nobody else GG'd out. So I'm thinking that that is probably more inclined towards Fresco being a bit annoyed, but feeling a bit frustrated. Feeling slightly psychological in terms of, they've lost the psychological game. And, like I said before, they were like, where did this team come from? In any case, that's the end of that particular class. I am Amiga Kai. If you like what you saw and you want to add your support, click like, click follow, whatever the equivalent is versus Facebook, versus YouTube, versus Twitch. Do either or, because the more likes and support that I get, the more appreciative and the more pulling power I have for main events. You can see on your screen now there is a tournament that I will be doing on the 17th of August at the iPlay Internet Cafe. I will be supporting Avril. Avril is one of these guys who comes along and does co-casting for me. He'll be the main caster and I'll be the co-caster supporting him. It is at 33 Lawn Street, Shop 4 in the Auckland, the CBD. First prize being about $600-700 worth of gear, so actually decent prize. And hey, if you're a team and you don't think you're particularly good, come on down, because it's a LAN event. So a lot of these teams that we see here on the Kiwi Challenge, some of them are in Wellington, some of them have people across the whole of the country, so they're not going to be able to compete as a team in these actual events. So I think it's worth actually throwing your hat in the ring and giving it a go. Anyway, I wasn't